Point number 6, it turned men into enemies. So what do we mean? Instead of partnership, feminism framed men as the problem, leading to widespread gender resentment. But you can't build society while dismantling or dismissing half of it. What do I mean? Look at what is happening in our society. The woman of today feels like she's the one now who can provide, and she's the one who can do every other thing. But the truth of the matter is, you cannot have a family by just a woman, by herself. The man should be involved, and the other way around, because it is important to understand when it comes to feminism, women empowerment, it is not about ruling out the man. It is about ensuring that the man participates in the idea of growth, and that is why partnership is important. But the modern woman has been taught otherwise. And that is why it has turned men into enemies. This issue of feminism and men and women empowerment, it has made many women to look down upon men. And that is why the man of today cannot even become. So what do you mean? Masculinity isn't the enemy. Broken masculinity is, but that's healed through truth, not war or hate. How or what am I saying? The important thing is to understand that masculinity is not the enemy. There are things that needs to be addressed so that something can be built. But the woman of today is hating so much on the man. Why is it like so? Because of this issue of empowerment that the woman cannot understand its true meaning, its true ideology, its true profit. That is what has made many people lose the essence of the matter. So let us go to point number 7. Women were weaponized for profit. Women were weaponized for profit. So what do I mean? The system hijacked feminism to sell a lie. The system. We see what the politicians are doing. Even religion, what it does. It has created and confined the important information. And it doesn't want that information to go out and bring a difference in the lives of our people. But it has subjected the man and the woman into slavery, especially in the mind. And that is why, when it comes to all these issues, we cannot handle them. Because now we've been disoriented and we've been made to not focus on the real issues of this life. So, and the other thing is, the more a woman abandons her home, womb, or family, the more valuable she becomes in society. That is what is happening in our society today. The more she loses her home, when a woman says she's divorcing a man, it becomes something that is important and it is appreciated by many. But that is not women empowerment. That is losing yourself in the moment. So meanwhile, corporations profit from the mental illness, body insecurity, and emotional burnout that result. So they want people, especially the man and the woman of today, to be at war so that these corporations and institutions can benefit from that. Because all these come with so many things: depression, emotional instability, mental illnesses and all that. And that is why these institutions are growing better and better every day, because they don't want you to be in partnership. They want you to have an idea that you can do it by yourself. And they know if the woman and the man come together, something has to change. But women empowerment has become something that has no value anymore, because it is all about, displaying another idea that is not necessarily the real truth about women empowerment. Am I against women empowerment? No. All I'm saying, women empowerment is important. But the truth of the matter is, we have to be intentional on what it means. So this isn't empowerment. This is economic and cultural exploitation, where all these things are happening, like weaponizing women, making them become a system of profiting, institutions and all these organizations. It cannot be like that. And so I go to my last point, because this is part 2 of the other part. It doesn't empower the woman of purpose. Women empowerment doesn't empower the woman of purpose. It empowers the woman of pride. That is feminism. It doesn't empower the woman of purpose, but it empowers the woman of pride. True empowerment is when a woman can stand strong in her calling, whether that's CEO, mother, pastor, artist, or wife, without being shamed or manipulated. So, what do I mean? A woman needs to know her calling and needs to realize her position, and she should not fear or she should not be afraid of anything. She should stand strong, because when I get into the good book Proverbs 31, I can see a woman that has been empowered, a woman that is even feeding the family and working for the family and building structures and going out of her way and doing something that is substantial. But the woman of today, based on women empowerment, she's having fears, and that is why she cannot have something that is substantial. That is why the woman of today being empowered, it is a way of demoralizing the idea of the man. So, but modern feminism shames the woman who chooses family, faith, or femininity. That is what happens. So you got married, you're in marriage. Oh, this is what you're doing. So modern feminism, it's all about when a woman chooses to have a family, she's insulted. When a woman chooses faith, she's insulted. And when a woman chooses to be feminine, also she's insulted, because they don't want that. They want to allow the man and the woman of today not to see the truth about what women empowerment is. Remember, that's not empowerment. That's ideological slavery. So it is important to get it right any other day. So Proverbs chapter 16 verse 18, pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. So the truth of the matter is, real strength isn't loud, it's rooted. So as a woman, you have to be rooted, because that is where strength comes. So rooted where? In truth, in humility, in love. That is what you should do. So my final thoughts on this: God never made women to be oppressed, but he never made them to be gods either. Real empowerment happens when divine design is honored, not when roles are reversed or destroyed. So I want to say thank you so much to be part of this conversation. And as always, you can follow me on TikTok as Salim Cyrus KE, and you can get more of all this I'm talking about on www.salimcyrus.com. And I will appreciate if you be part of this conversation and even more. God bless you until next time.